Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Matthew Dale, and I wanted to give you a 3-month update on my ownership experience of the Strandberg Boden Original NX. It's kind of a mouthful. So I first purchased this guitar almost 4 months ago, really to go on a 3-week cruise ship gig. I wanted something that would travel really well, that would fit in a tight cabin really well, that was light, to take through the airport on my back, and yada, yada, yada. So I kind of bought this a little bit on a gamble. I had seen the Strandbergs. I'd never played one, but I saw them online, and I thought the design was cool and really interesting. And I really just wanted to try one out. And, this cruise ship gig came up, and it gave me a good excuse to buy another guitar. And as I was hitting the purchase button, I thought, what the heck? If I try it out and I play it and I like it, great. And if not, if it's really not my thing, then after my cruise ship contract, I'll just, turn it around and sell it. But I actually found out that I really like this guitar. One of the first things that I like is this guitar is pretty crazy versatile, especially with the electronics and the switching system down here. So definitely at first glance, it's a 2-humbucker equipped guitar, and surprisingly, most of the sounds in this guitar are single coil sounds. So you have the bridge humbucker, which is, a little bit more high output. This is the Sir SSH Plus. And then you've got the Sir SSV, I believe, in the neck. A little bit cooler, a little less output. But then in between, you get all of these great single coil tones. So in position 2, it's the inner coils, which gives you a very Strat-like sound. Really Strat-like, that really sort of tickles the Strat itch for me. And then in the middle position, position 3, it's the outer coils. Very telly-like. And then you've got the neck in single coil. And I think this is a pickup that really does the split humbucker single coil sound really well. It's really hard to do that, but I think this one does it really well. All of the performances that I did on the cruise ship went really, really well. We played everything from jazz to pop to rock and a little bit of everything in between. And, just having this one guitar to manipulate and get all the tones that I needed, in addition to my Fractal FM3, it was a great streamlined rig. A couple other things that I really like about the guitar would be the stainless steel frets in the neck. The neck is like buttery smooth. They have this really great satin finish on the back of the neck, and the stainless steel frets almost just cause your fingers just bounce and sort of fly across them. They're not big like a Fender medium jumbo, but they're not too small either. They're kind of this Goldilocks fret size. And I'm not really one to play or, buy a guitar specifically because it has stainless steel frets, but I really like them on this guitar. I had a Strat with stainless steel frets, and they were, just kind of okay. And then for the last several years, I've been primarily a PRS player, and of course, PRS uses mostly nickel silver. And after playing my PRSs for a while and coming to this, I really like playing on this fretboard. The hardware as well is really good. Changing strings on this guitar is really no problem, and you shouldn't be intimidated if you get a guitar like this about changing the strings. You literally just thread it through this way and then lock it in place. But I will say, you don't need to lock these hex screws down as much as you think, as long as you're stringing the guitar correctly. There's a small metal plate that needs to rest on the bottom of the really the bottom of the slot that the string then rests on. So the string is pinched between this metal plate, and the string goes on, and then the screw comes down and locks it in place. And I mention that in excessive detail because when I first changed the string, I accidentally put the E string underneath that plate, and I thought that was meant to lock it down. But you don't want to do that. What that plate does is it separates the screw head for, putting this piece down. It separates the screw head from the string so you don't break a string. So my tip for you, if you do get this guitar or another Strandberg like it, if you really want to be particular and make sure that the string is resting on top of those small metal plates, just go ahead and take the screw out, keep it somewhere that you're not gonna lose it, but take the screw all the way out, string through, and then that way you can see that the string is resting where it needs to, and then pop the screw back in. Also, as I mentioned, if you watched my first Strandberg Boden review just a couple weeks after I got this guitar, I broke the NX multi-tool because I was tightening these screws down more than you should, and it just sort of snapped the tool. Now, in that video, I said that I would like to see this as a higher quality piece rather than the plastic, maybe something metal or a little bit more durable. But that being said, Strandberg did send me this as a replacement. I just reached out to them in an email, and they sent this to me very shortly. But I found this to be adequate. It's not great, but it's definitely adequate, and it does the job. I've changed the strings probably 5 or 6 times since then, and this has been enough to tighten these screws down to lock the strings in place. And then it also just goes on the little plate, the steel plate that you can affix to the guitar if you want to as well. It's just got a little sticky back to it, and you can put this. I've kept this on hand on this plate back here for as long as I've had the guitar, and it never falls off, even from gigging or travel or anything like that. It stays there. Probably the thing that I have to get used to the most if I'm playing my PRSs for a while and I go to pick up this is actually not the Endure neck. I think the Endure neck is actually really comfortable, and for what it's worth, I don't know if this is necessarily, based in any sort of fact, but at least my anecdotal evidence for this would be that for those 3 weeks that I was on the cruise ship and we played 6 nights out of the week, and I definitely had to do a lot of my own practice, and there was some rehearsal time in there, so I was playing a lot, and I didn't notice any sort of fatigue or any sort of pain in my wrists at all from playing a lot. That could be as a result of the Endure neck, or I could have just gotten lucky for those 3 weeks, who knows. But it might say something to the design of the Endure neck being an ergonomic guitar. It might be doing what it preaches. So really the thing that I do need to get used to after I pick up this guitar is the flat fingerboard radius. I usually play a guitar that's, 9.5 or a 10-inch radius or a 12-inch radius, and then coming to this, which I think is like a 20-inch radius, it's really flat. And that is something that I do notice that I need to get used to. But if you already play guitars with a flat fingerboard, then this should feel right at home. Another thing that I really found that I like that I didn't really know that I needed before were the lumen lays. when you are playing on a dark stage and you can see those little fretboard dots light up, that's really kind of cool. One thing I definitely don't like about this guitar is the price. And I know that it is definitely a high quality guitar. You can definitely see that in the neck, in the hardware. You can see it in the stainless steel frets. You can see it in the pickups that they're putting in. Where I really don't see it is the top. I thought some of the older models pre-NX had really gorgeous tops. But this one just doesn't really do it for me. It does have a pretty nice quilted maple veneer. And I don't know if it has something to do with the satin finish or what, but I just feel like for a $2,000 guitar, $2,200 guitar, the top should really poke out and be a much higher quality. Now, I will say I did buy this one as a refurb, so there could be a little bit of that going on. And it's not that I don't think that the top is nice, I just don't know that it's $2,000 nice. I do really like the backwood, and I like that they left the grain porous and not filled in. It makes it feel, real natural and real, really makes you feel like you're picking up a hunk of wood. And I really like the electronics cover. This is a piece of aluminum. It's not, one of those cheap plastic covers. This is a piece of solid aluminum, and it really feels high quality. Now, in conclusion, after being kind of on the fence when I first bought this guitar, I would definitely buy another Strandberg in a heartbeat. A couple that I have my eye on right now would be the Strandberg Classic, the Strat-looking model with the Viridian green finish. I think the Viridian green finish looks really cool. And the new Standard NX just came out, and the Standard NX that's finished in blue with the tremolo I think looks really cool. I'd really love to give the tremolo hardware a spin and see how it does. This hardware stays in tune incredibly well, like days on end it'll be in tune, so it would be great to see if that translates to something with a tremolo. So this is my first Strandberg, but it definitely will not be my last. If any of you out there own a Strandberg, either one of the newer NX models or one of the older models, let me know what your thoughts are below. And if you don't own a Strandberg, still let me know what your thoughts are on the Strandberg ethos in the space below. My name is Matthew Dale. I'll see you guys on the next one.